All right, well, today we have in this Fresno Rotary Spotlight, past president Jim Winton. Jim, you were the president of the club, what, 1987, 80, 88?
87, 88, that's correct.
You've been born here in Fresno and pharmacy. Tell us all about Winton's pharmacy.
Well, Winton's Pharmacy was started by my father, a Rotarian as well, in September of 1932. And he started it out there on Tulare Street, right across from Roosevelt High School. And people told him he was crazy because he was having the pharmacy in the middle of the block. And in those days, they always had all the pharmacies on the corners. And many of the stores in Fresno at that time were all on the corners, but Dad was in the middle of the block. And he said that the powers to be said, "You'll never make it, Martin, because you're in the middle of the block." Well, 86 years later, we had to close it up. And we didn't close because we were in the middle of the block. We closed because of the demographics and the changes in healthcare and all that sort of stuff. But I was there 60 years. That's a long time. And to be in one place, I only had in my lifetime, I only had three or four jobs. Other than I think I had three, other than being in the pharmacy with my dad. So I grew up here in Fresno. I went to Roosevelt High School, graduated in 1951, went off to the University of Utah in 1952, graduated in 1956, took the Board of Pharmacy in November of 56, and the day the board was given, I got drafted into the Army. So then I had to spend 2 years with Uncle Sam up in Fort Lewis, Washington. All my basic training guys all went to Korea because the Korean War was just over at that time. But myself and 3 or 4 other guys had a college friend who went through the ROTC program, and he was running a healthcare field hospital unit with a colonel. He told the colonel, he said, "Colonel, if you want this place to run right, I want you to get those guys out of this basic training company and come and bring them over here." And he said, you get these guys and you will not have one problem. So he got 5 or 6 of us over there. We all went to the same pharmacy school, and we ran the headquarters company for 6 or 8 field hospital units that were attached to the hospital unit. Well, it was great duty. We didn't have anything to do, but I was a re-enlistment clerk. So I had a big job, and all of those guys that were giving us trouble in basic training, they weren't giving us any more trouble. They would make sure the papers were filled out correctly so they got their severance pay and all that sort of stuff. So then I got discharged there on July the 11th of 1958, and I started to work for my dad on the 15th of July, and I did that from then on. But I did work in the store as a kid. My first job with my dad was, I was 9 years old, and I had to fold the newspapers on Sunday because he had all of the newspapers that were published in the country. And the only other place I remember in those days that had more papers than we did was Hart's restaurant down there on Tulare between Fulton and Van Ness. They had every paper in the country. So I folded the papers. That was at 9, and at age 12, I was still over there sweeping sidewalks and all that. At 14, I got a driver's license, and so he let me do delivery. And I had a Model A, and I drove around Fresno, my Model A, delivering prescriptions. And that was always our forte, was the delivery. You know, even today, I look and see what's going on with Amazon and all of these guys. All of a sudden, everybody's delivering, everybody's getting paid to do it, and we never got paid for nothing. We did it all free. And then it's just gone down the road. There we go. And I just had a great time. I came back to Fresno in 58. I didn't know a soul. I didn't know anybody here. All my friends were married and gone, and some were still in the military. And I got introduced to the Fresno 2030 Club. And we have members, I believe, that were in the 2030s back in those days. We had 70 members. We met once a week. We actually had one place. We were at the California Hotel for a while, and then we were out on Spikes Bridge with Desert Inn and another place out there. And we had guest speakers just like we do in Rotary. Everything was really based on what a Rotary was doing. but they ran us out at age 35. And that was fine. Well, at age 35, somebody asked me to join Rotary, and I said, you know what? I've had it. I was president. I was all of the offices in the 2030 Club. I was even the chairman of the Miss Fresno County beauty pageant one year that was sponsored by our club. And so about 3 or 4 years later, my dad asked me to, Hugh Autry asked me to join Rotary. And I said, Hugh, I'm not going to do that now. I'm still just out of the 2030s. So then my dad got me and he said, okay, you got to join Rotary. So I joined Rotary, and that's how all the Rotary things started. And of course, being president of the Fresno Rotary was unbelievable. I just unbelievable. I can't tell you how thankful I was to be able to be president. I met so many people in Rotary, not only in the Fresno Club, but in all of the clubs in Fresno. What I was going to tell you about this 2030 Club, I didn't know a soul until I went to 2030. And many of those same guys today, that unless they passed away, were most all Rotarians after they left that 2030 Club. And so it was a great introduction for me to meet all of these people, all with different occupations, just like in Rotary. Everybody's got a different deal. And it got me really acquainted with Fresno, really got me acquainted. So somebody said to me the other day, how come you know so many people? Because I'm a people guy, as you know. And I said, I met all of these guys, and I've tried to get some of those guys to join Rotary, and they won't do it. I've never been able to understand that. But if they would come to Rotary and participate and make an effort to know all of our members, et cetera, they certainly would have a good time. But of course, today at that age, they're not going to do it. So anyway, that's kind of where I've been going. And I must tell you that I should have quit working about 10 years ago. But my deal has always been, I told you earlier, I love people. I had some great customers over on Tulare Street, and some great ones out here on Herndon Avenue as well. That Southeast Fresno right now has got a lot of problems. They need guys like me down there, but economics don't make it feasible for us to be down there. But I got to tell you, some of the best customers I ever had are still down there right now today. And I told somebody not long ago, I said, what's one of your biggest disappointments? And I said, well, it's because I can't be here to take care of them. I got to tell you, they absolutely love Michael, absolutely loved him. And when Michael left and went where he is now, a lot of those people followed him out there. They followed him clear out to Shaw and Villa and Clovis. But you know, Michael, he's got that personality that will pull him. So that's one of the things that I miss the most of. But I don't miss coming home every night at 7 or 8 o'clock. And I don't miss that aspect of it. I don't miss the politics that are going on in the drug industry and in the retail pharmacy today. And my personal view is that the poor little independent guys like myself, they're done. There's just I just heard on the news a minute ago, Amazon's going into the retail pharmacy business, and so now the big guys are going to be shuffling around trying to figure out how they're going to keep that business, because Amazon's delivering it and they know how to do it better than anybody, and they're getting paid for it. That's the good part.
Yeah, it's
so
hard to compete with the relationships when your finances are fighting, and
you're fighting it all the time. So we had a great run. My dad and myself and Michael, we had a great run. Michael was out there 25 years, and of course my dad quit when he was about 65 and turned it over to me, and he left. He was shooting ducks and doing all kinds of things, and so we were able to make it go. And I think we did really a good job. I've never regretted anything about the industry, because I think we were one of the movers and shakers in the industry for the independents in our good days. So now I'm just having fun, not doing anything.
Thank you for your military service, and thank you for all those years of delivery, even as a kid. Winton's delivers. I remember that.
We remember.
Yeah.
I advertised with KMJ 25 years on Bulldog Sports. And then they moved over to John Oslin's station, and I was there with him a couple of years, and then we stopped, of course. But I have friends all over California that listen to Bulldog football. If they used to live here, and they listen to those guys on the radio, and they'd always say, "I heard you, Winton. You're on the radio."
Yeah. Well, on Mondays at Rotary, you would play the piano, and there was at least one every month that you and Michael would get up there and get the Bulldog song as well.
Yeah,
So,
sure did. Sure did. Which reminds me, I need to start practicing again when Rotary starts to come back. Do we have a target date for that?
Well, no, not yet. But, hey, we've got Zoom right now, and we can listen to some of your piano playing if you want to fire it up. We're back on the 40th, so make sure you get those. Yeah.
I got Art. It's cold weather now, and the fingers have got Arthur in them.
Well, maybe in December,
arthritis.
It's a holiday tune or something.
Yeah.
Well, and thank you for all those years of service, because you've been in the club over 40 years.
40. I joined March of 1973. So what is that? 45, 46, 47 years. Yeah, 47 years.
You've been president.
Met so many great people in our Rotary Club. I just can't tell you. At every walk of life, the leaders in every one of those professions and occupations that they did, and so many that in my life, it's been great. It's been a big part of our family. It's just, I can't tell you enough about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything you've done. And now Michael's what, third generation Rotary?
Third generation Rotary. Yeah. He's out there working for the big competitor now, and he's getting along okay. He likes it. It's a lot different than it is when you're running your own small business, and you have a hands-on situation all the time with the cost of product and all of that, budgeting and all that sort of stuff, which he doesn't do out there. But he is a manager of the pharmacy, and I don't know what that really entitles to, but it's a lot different than it was with us. They don't.
Well,
sorry.
Can we talk about wine? Did you see the wine tasting, virtual wine tasting we have coming up?
I saw a little bit about that yesterday. Kara was talking about that.
Yeah. So December 2nd, we got a wine tasting. So you get your Fresno State wine, and then you join online and open up your bottles and just tasting at home. So that'll be fun.
Taste it at home, huh?
You can taste it at home. Yes. So with all those raffle winnings, the wine winnings, you probably do now. So.
Well, I think we finished off those raffle winnings a long time ago.
Time to collect some more.
Yeah.
Well, and you've got a birthday coming up here in a few days. So
Thursday.
Birthday. Yeah.
I celebrate my 28th anniversary of my 59th birthday. So I'll be 87 years old. It's hard to believe that I'm going to be that old. If I'd have known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself.
Well, I think you're doing great. You're doing
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes, and
you bet.
Spotlight, and it was really great getting to know you a little bit more.
Right, and thank you for asking. And again, the wine tasting is December the 2nd.
Okay, sounds good. I've already got my wine on order, so.
Oh, you already ordered the wine?
Yeah, I had to test it out, make sure it works. The link works for you guys.
Now, how do I order it?
The same way, just that little link, and it takes you right to the Fresno State, and they can deliver the wine, or you can pick it up.
Perfect. Yeah, I heard her talk about picking it up at the market out there.
Yeah, I sent the email to everybody just like 2 hours ago.
Okay, I'll look for it. Okay, thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
It was fun. Bye-bye.